Hi people there, it's Martin here. My last video was a bit of a ramble and I thought I needed to rectify that. So I've come up with one of my many uh, ideas that I don't usually do. I usually just do vinyl finds videos and people like that, and I've been doing that for like nearly 10 years. I'm talking about records here. So this is a 20 random useless facts thread. So if you would like to do a response, it would be greatly appreciated. I don't think I've ever done a thread that has ever taken off and done much, or competitions, well, a bit maybe, you know. So anyway, this was my brother-in-law's useless random fact that got me going. Hello Marcus, so happy birthday to you, it's today. And he shared with me that, and the voice of Enigma, the woman's voice, was in fact the producer's girlfriend slash wife, partner, German pop star Sandra. I'll Never Be Maria Magdalena. Not a hit in the UK, probably not a hit in America, I wouldn't have thought. So I just always wondered who the voice of Enigma was. So some of these facts are dispelling some common um, misconceptions, whereas others might not be necessarily true. So I'd rather you didn't give that away in the comments. If you were to do a response, maybe you could make some things up, or you could just do half a dozen as a response, just facts that you know, or people you've met, or something or other. Anyway, the next one is just your plain old Steely Dan greatest hits. Now, Steely Dan, yeah, it's a sexual apparatus, isn't it? Um, and I went to see the film Naked Lunch, William S. Burroughs film. I don't remember much about it. I don't remember a Steely Dan being in it at all. I remember there was a lot of drug taking and it was hopping around the world. Um, yeah, I think people just usually think it's like a available dildo, don't they, or something? But oh, pardon me, saying that word. Right, next one. Right, next one is this one. So, um, another word that is quite uncomfortable to be seen using these days. So we've got two Alan Lomax uh, records, one white, one black, and the link here is um, Alan Lomax is assisted by Shirley Collins. So I've got these, and then this is a Shirley Collins album. She's just had a new album out, so I thought it was quite relevant. This is an album she did, um, well, 60s with her sister, Anthems in Eden, Shirley and Dolly Collins. Yeah, so that's a link there. A random fact that maybe you probably knew, but yeah, okay. From that to something you may not know. Now, John Otway was most famous for one hit in the UK. It was called Really Free, and his had a long pop career of trying to do crazy things. But one crazy thing he did was when part of the Link Road slash bypass was opened, maybe half a dozen years ago, maybe a bit more. John, in his own wisdom, decided to get a 1980s uh, electric car called a Sinclair C5, invented by Clive Sinclair, who invented some computers back in the 80s, very basic home first computers. And he decided to be the first person on that piece of road to drive down it. So that might be true. Next one, right? Let's crack on with this. So it's going to take ages. The voice of Terry Malloy, um, not on this particular album, but the voice of Terry Malloy is Davros, and has been for quite a long time. And in this particular album, he loses the plot. I have no more current thing to show you, but the voice of Terry Malloy since 1974 has been on the BBC4 radio soap opera series. This has been on since probably the 50s, hasn't it? Since 1974, Terry Malloy has also done the voice of. His name was Mike. No, Mike Tucker. Yeah, Mike Tucker. So that is a link. Next one. Right, we're full steam ahead now. So some albums by David Kossoff, actor, religious commentator, I think. So we've got that one. We've got this one. So he's the father of the guitar player from Free, Paul Kossoff, that sadly passed away. Got loads of them here. That's that one. This one's Haggadah. All David Kossoff. So father of Paul Kossoff. Right. Leo Sayer. The story behind Leo Sayer is he used to live in the town where I lived. He lived in a very nice house in the old town in the high street. But the local record shop in the new town of where I used to live. God, he looks so different from me, doesn't he? Hair. Anyway, the record shop in the new town, which is still there in a different guise, but it's the same guy who quoted this. He deliberately had a section of CDs for Leo Sayer right up until Leo Sayer emigrated or moved to Australia, and then there was no further need to have a Leo Sayer section in the record shop. I bet they never sold any. I mean, you know, he sold by the bucket load, obviously, in the late 70s, early 80s, but after then, no. His Faithless Insomnia. Now, what are we on? This is 12. Yeah. Unfortunately, no longer with us, Maxi Jazz. He also had a rare potato allergy, which apparently can give you anaphylactic shock. Next one. Spanish swooner and mover on all ladies. Look at his white teeth there. Julio Iglesias, plural of churches, I think. Anyway, he was at one time or another a goalkeeper. He was on the books of Real Madrid soccer team, football team, and then became a pop star around the world. Right. This is Christian, Scottish, Celtic kind of sounding band Iona, named after the Scottish island. And Iona featured Troy Donockley, who later on he plays the pipes and all sorts, actually. Now plays guitars and stuff. This is Troy. So he went from a Christian band with I actually saw them once. They're pretty good, actually. So not too dissimilar to Nightwish, who have some Celtic Irish influences, I suppose. He went on to being in Nightwish, and this is a live album by them. Right, keep it going, Martin. The sample for Voodoo Ray by a guy called Gerald, isn't it? Came from this album, and it was actually the phrase used on the track Bo Dudley. So this is Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. And where is it? What was the actual phrase? Yeah. Voodoo Rage, but he made it into Voodoo Ray. A guy called Gerald. Yeah. Right, I bought this album last weekend. It's Jim Sullivan. And part of the reason I bought it was it sounded great, interesting. A guy was playing it in a shop in Honest John's in London. Anyway, transpires that he wrote a bit. He certainly wrote a song called UFO here, and he was travelling across America, and appeared, or rather appeared, seems to have disappeared under some strange circumstances around. Was it Nevada desert? I think. Anyway, fact, fiction, what happened? I don't know. If I did know, right, a big hit was it Rocking Sydney? I think so. This is a Kings of Zydeco album, and it's called My Toot Toot. Yeah, Rocking Sydney is on here. Oh, sorry, no, it's Buzu Chavis is My Toot Toot. This guy is I'm not sure whether that's him or the other guy. Anyway, so it sort of became a bit of a hit for Cajun music, regional then national, from what I understand. And then this is the version that I would have remembered in 1980s England. My Toot Toot, Denise Lascelles. Not sure if that is a euphemism or just what exactly, but maybe someone can fill me in on that. Right. Okay, Tom Jones. Tom Jones, from 1968 to 2023 to now, I tried to estimate and work it out from gigs and 55 years worth of him having women's knickers thrown at him. Here he is, lovely Tom in his shirt, cross, checkered shirt combo, and here, surrounded by some ladies. Whether they have their knickers on or not, I don't know. Anyway, I would estimate that around 50,000 pairs of knickers have been thrown at Tom Jones. Where they are now, no one knows. Right, next one. Okay, so a few more personal ones here, I guess you would say. I was back in the 80s on holiday with my mum in the Channel Island known as Jersey, and I bought 2 albums on the same day. One looking back to my childhood, although I was still technically a child, I suppose. So that was the ITV Rat with condom ears, Roland Rat, and on the same day I bought Madonna Like a Virgin on her bed in her provocative, alluring manner. I think it might have been WH Smith or Woolworth, I'm not sure. It was tax free in Jersey, so, or still is maybe, I'm not sure. Next one, right. Here's a Ween album, Chocolate and Cheese. Those breasts belong to Pamela Anderson. Next one. Oh, yeah. Right, we're nearly there. Try and get this under 15 minutes. A lesser known album. This is in fact Dave Grohl, and he went over to Russia and did this album. And it's actually not that bad. Did it with a band called Magnetic Band. It's better than Foo Fighters, I'll tell you that. It's a bit more folky, Jethro Tull sort of thing. Here's Richard Wagner, Parsifal, the well, on my piece of paper I've just described him as the gay anti-Semite. Anyway, in the song, which was about Adolf Hitler, of which Nazism obtained some ideologies or was a big fan of some classical music, German national classical music, including Beethoven and Wagner. There's a song to the tune of Colonel Bogey that British soldiers sang about Hitler having only one bull, and it is rumoured that Richard Wagner only had one bull. And I think this might be the last one. So this is Roger Waters. I could have got a Pink Floyd album out, but when I was at school in London, primary school, uh, I was walking along the corridor and was later told that that was Roger Waters walking along the same school corridor. So in the year above me, this is primary school, they got some kids to sing on this record called Another Brick in the Wall. And yeah, so I was nearly famous there and could have got some 2012, could have got some royalties. So there you have it. So if you can match that or do something with it, I think I've done them all. I would be delighted to see your response. So thanks for watching. Bye.